everybody may be seated when I call your next witness.
Thank you, Judge. State calls Sarah Wagner Barton. Right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can have a seat. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Sarah Wagner Barton, SARAHWAGNER-BARTON.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a social worker with La Crosse County Human Services. I do initial assessment.
How long have you worked for La Crosse County CPS?
20 years
And you said you're an initial assessment worker.
in child protection.
Can you tell me a little bit about what that role does?
So our office can receive reports from anybody in the community. They can receive reports from family mandated reporters. Reports are then taken, supervisors screen those, and then make a decision as to whether or not it gets assigned to a worker. If it gets assigned, I'm one of the workers that would work the case, and I have up to 60 days to assess the family to determine next steps.
Are you the one who makes the determination about whether or not you start an assessment?
I'm sorry?
Are you the person who makes the determination about whether an assessment is started with a family?
No, I'm not.
And that 60-day timeline, is that a firm timeline or is that something you have control over?
If we don't find that there's any safety threats or safety concerns, we can end the investigation sooner, but statutorily we have up to 60 days.
And were you working in your capacity with CPS with Josie Dikeman and her family in January of 2023?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Our office had received a report on the 16th of January, and an on-call social worker made contact with the family. The next day, I was the worker that was assigned to go out and meet with the family and assess the case.
Where did you meet with the family?
At Gunderson Hospital.
And that was on the 17th of January?
Yes.
What was the difference between the role you were doing on the 17th and the role that the worker who met with them on the 16th was doing?
So the on-call worker, their role is really to go out and assess for immediate safety threats. So they determine whether or not, she determined that a protective plan would be put in place for the children in the home while Alexavier was in the hospital until further investigation could be done to determine what exactly had happened.
What's a protective plan?
A protective plan is something that we talk with families about. We put it in place with we can do different parameters. So it may be that parents can only have unsupervised time with their children. It may be that they can determine if there's other family or informal supports that could be a safe person. So they may be able to stay with the children in the home so that the kids are still able to be home, but there's people checking in or staying there.
Who was present at the hospital the day you met with the family first?
Josie and Derek.
Was Alex there too?
Yes.
And did you speak directly with Alex that day?
I did.
Was that in front of Josie and Derek?
Yes.
And did you specifically talk to Alex about discipline in the home?
I did. When I came into the room and I introduced myself, I asked Alex to tell me what had happened, how he had gotten his injury. He shared that with me. One of the things when I talk with kids around his age, I'll often ask them, are things at home thumbs up, thumbs down, or kind of in the middle? Because it's an easier concept for them to understand. And he described things at home as being in the middle, and I asked him more about that, and he said that sometimes he and his brothers would fight and they would take his toys. And then I asked him what happens at home if he's not listening or if if he gets into trouble. And he said that he would have to go on a timeout. He said that he would get spanked by mom and dad with their hand, or he would get yelled at.
Strike.
It is hearsay.
Yeah.
It is, Your Honor. I
Characterizing the evidence.
believe that defense opened the door with their questioning previously about what Alex reported to the CPS worker, specifically what Mr. Pedrin did. If they don't think it accurately portrays what the social worker documented, that's proper cross-examination.
Overruled, go ahead.
I believe you're talking about discipline.
Yeah, so he described the three different things. And I asked him if he felt safe at home. He said that he did.
And he told you about that discipline in front of Derek and Ms. Dikeman, is that correct?
Yes, he did.
Everything you were talking about that day was in front of Derek and Ms. Dikeman?
Yes.
Were forensic interviews conducted related to that investigation of Alex or any of the other kids?
Specifically related to the leg fracture, they were not. There were forensic interviews that were done after he died.
And how do you determine whether or not you're going to have children do forensic interviews?
There's a variety of reasons that we might do them. In this specific case, the information that was received from medical staff was that the injury, the leg fracture, was consistent with the information that was
Hearsay.
Overruled.
Back down. Thank you, Judge. Go ahead.
That the information that was relayed as to how the injury had happened was consistent with the medical findings. And so at that point, because it was listed as an accidental injury, my decision at that point, and after consulting my supervisors, it was decided that we were going to continue the protective plan. We were going to modify it to having Josie's mom do check-ins every day with the family. I would be also checking in with the children. I'd be meeting at the house, doing home visits, and continuing to assess the functioning within the home and also of the family. And it was decided that we didn't feel like it was appropriate to do forensic interviews for that specific incident.
You didn't close your case at that time, though?
No, I did not. I had up to 60 days. So I believe I was assigned the case. The case came in on the 16th, and I would have worked it for at least probably 35 to 45 days.
When you made that contact with the family on the 17th, had you reviewed all the medical records at that point?
I had received the information from the pediatric orthopedist that had seen Alexavier at the hospital. And then I spoke with the nurse that was taking care of Alexavier that morning. And she had pulled up the most recent notes and had shared those with me.
Would part of that intake process, as it continued, though, be requesting those medical records so you could review them?
Yes. So as an initial assessment worker, I'm able to access children's medical records to make sure that any sort of follow-ups are happening if it's been recommended, or making sure that any other needs are being attended to medically.
Were there any other concerns that you had which affected keeping that investigation open at that point in time?
No, no.
Was part of your decision about what happened next based on what Alex had told you about what had happened?
Yes.
And did you talk to any of the other children at that point about what had happened related to the leg break?
I talked with them after Alex had been released from the hospital. So as part of the investigation, I had spoken with the children at school.
If you had knowledge that the kids had been asked not to talk about the leg break with others, would that have affected your?
Hearsay.
This is about her knowledge of it, although it does come.
Through hearsay statements. There's no foundation.
All right. Sustain.
Were you present at the forensic interviews done of Major Hellerud?
Yes,
Do you remember if you were present for both of those?
I was present. I believe that I was. I'm not for sure for the first one. I'm not certain on the second.
Do you recall Major indicating that Ms. Dikeman told him not to talk to anybody about the
Objection,
leg break?
hearsay.
Overruled.
I'll say the question again. Do you recall Major Hellerud talking in his forensic interview about Ms. Dikeman telling him not to talk about the leg break?
I don't.
Would that have been concerning to you if there was information about the children not talking?
Yes.
Did you meet with the family again?
I did. The family had been sick, so we had a few rescheduled home visits, but I did a home visit with the family. I believe it was the 26th of January. And I met at the home at the time were both Josie and Derek. Alex was there, Brantley, Major, and Araya. Jalen was with her grandmother, and so was Zayden.
And what observations did you make at that meeting?
The boys definitely had rough play. They were throwing around a water bottle. They were just being pretty rowdy, but there wasn't anything that presented as unsafe about their play. The home didn't present with any safety concerns. There's a lot of people living in the home, so laundry, things like that, but there wasn't anything that was of a major safety concern at the home visit.
The way the kids were playing with each other didn't give you cause for concern?
It didn't appear to be anything more than sibling play or anything that could be dangerous.
Did Ms. Dikeman ask about how long the process would take?
She did. When I explained the process initially to them in the hospital, she had let me know that she was familiar with the process because she had been part of a CHIPS case 10 years earlier. And so she understood kind of how the process worked. When I was at the house for my home visit with them prior to Alex's death, she asked me how much longer the case was going to be open and why it had been open to begin with after the doctor had determined that the injury was accidental. And I explained to her that we didn't have that information at the time of the report, and so once an assessment or a report is opened, we're obligated to do an investigation on that.
But you could have closed that investigation prior to this January 26th meeting if you thought it was appropriate, correct?
As part of the investigation, I need to see the home, and I wanted to continue to make sure that Alex had received his follow-up medical. So I wouldn't have closed it within 3 weeks of receiving it, but I could have closed it soon after.
Did you have a conversation with Derek and Ms. Dikeman about providing Jenna notice about what had happened to Alex?
I did. I let Derek know, both of them know, that I was going to be sending, once I was done with my investigation, I'd be sending a letter to Jenna to let her know about the referral and also what the findings were. Derek had asked if he could have a copy of that, and I told him once I had it done, I certainly would. Josie was, I think, frustrated and expressed frustration because she felt that it was just going to create more phone calls, things like that.
When you were making contact with the family to set up home visits, who did you do that with?
I did that with Josie. Oh, my contacts were primarily with her. I did speak with Derek after Alexavier had gone home from the hospital to check in, but he was working full-time and the primary contact was Josie.
As part of your job, speaking to the family about school, medical appointments, that sort of thing?
Yes,
And from your observations, who had that information?
Josie did. And in my collateral contacts with school, they had stated that Josie was the
That's
primary
embarrassing.
parent.
Sustained.
Did you respond to the residents the day Alex died?
I did,
And was your case still open at that time?
yes.
Did you see inside the home that day?
I did not.
You didn't go inside their home at all?
I did not.
Prior to Alex's death, did you receive an email from Ms. Dikeman about a welfare check that had been done?
I did.
I hand you, it's been marked as State's Exhibit 64. Do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
It's an email that Josie had sent to me the night before Alex's death at 8:41 p.m.
And would you communicate throughout this process with Josie via email?
There were times that we did, yes.
And is this a true and accurate representation of the email that you received from Ms. Dikeman on February 10th at 8:41 p.m.?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask for the admission of Exhibit 64 and request permission to publish.
No objection.
Received.
I'm going to put this up on the Elmo, and then if I could have you read it for me,
Sure.
please. You can read it from your copy. It's probably a little less.
You'll have to zoom it out. Oh, it's down below. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
There might be more than one way, Judge. Go ahead.
I'm guessing you sent Jenna the update on Alex and how he has a broken leg. Of course, her family now calls a welfare check on Alex, and police were at my door. The officer noticed a scratch on Alex's eyebrow. Of course, Alex, being bored at times, keeps picking it, and now it's a little scab smaller than a pea. Alex said he hit it on a corner at school. Now that his leg is feeling better, he is trying to be more active, which the teachers and I are trying to remind him of the rules he has to follow to keep his leg safe. He is ready to go, LOL, even though his leg isn't. Just wanted to update you. I figured they would call the police. They have multiple times. Alex was scared when the police were here and said, quote, "Mom, hold my hand. I hope all this is done now because he has been through enough. Thanks."
And did you, or do you recall when you realized you had received this email?
I actually had checked my email early on the morning of Saturday, the 11th, and saw the email.
Was that before you found out about Alexavier's death?
Yes.
After Alex's death, did you put any safety measures into place regarding the other children?
Yes. So I started a new protective plan, essentially, where Brantley and Araya went to stay with Josie's aunt, so it would be their maternal great aunt, Ann Ehlers, and then Zayden and Jalen stayed with Josie's mom, Becky, and Major had been doing a visit with his dad that day, and he ended up staying at his paternal grandparents' home. And the protective plan was that there could be no unsupervised contact between Derek and Josie and the children.
Both for Derek and Josie?
Yes.
And who could act as the supervisor?
So the people that were taking care of the children. So it would have been Becky and Ann, and then also Sharon, Major's grandmother, and his father. And I let both Ann and Becky, all of them know, including Josie, that if the department found out at any point that the kids were having unsupervised contact with either parent, then we would not be able to keep them in that placement, and we'd have to move to something else.
Did you attend the forensic interviews that were conducted the next day?
I did.
Do you remember who brought Major in that day?
His grandmother, Sharon, and I don't remember if his dad came, but I think it was just his grandmother.
And who brought Brantley and Araya in?
It would have been their great aunt, Ann Ehlers.
Were the children scheduled at different times that day?
Yes, there was a little bit of overlap. We were finishing up one interview, and I believe that we were finishing up Araya, and Major had come in and was waiting in the visit room.
The kids have any unsupervised contact?
They did not.
Thank you. Nothing else.
And Cross?
Yes, thanks. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Ms. Wagner-Barton, I must ask, before you started your testimony today, were you outside of the courtroom chatting with Derek Pedrin and other members of your department?
I said hello to Derek.
Okay. Now, you just testified about a statement Alex made to you while at the hospital regarding spanking. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
And you testified that Alex told you that both mom and dad would spank Alex. Do I have that right?
Yes.
That's not what Alex told you, is it?
I recall that's what he had said.
Now, you create case notes as part of your job, right?
Yes.
And those are official documents that are relied upon by others in the department, correct? And they're
Yes.
created in the regular course of business?
Yes.
And they're reliable documents?
Yes.
And you write down everything that you think of or note that might be important about a contact that you have with the family in those case notes, correct?
Yes.
And those are supposed to be fully accurate when you write them,
Yes.
correct? And they can be amended if it turns out that that's not right.
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, I would move admission of this exhibit. I think it's been authenticated, and I would like to publish it to the jury.
I don't know
It
that's
hasn't-
been authenticated
Yeah,
yet.
I think she needs to see it, Your Honor.
Well,
before
let
she-
me show you this document.
Sure.
Tell me if this looks like a case note.
Yes.
You would agree that Alex did not tell you that mom and dad would spank him, correct?
Yes, I misspoke.
In fact, may I show the jury this?
Is there any objection being received at this point?
No objection to it being received, Your Honor. There may be other hearsay statements.
I can read it to the jury, and you just tell me if that's, I have that correct.
Okay, it will be received. Go ahead and read it to the jury.
It says, this is you writing, I asked him about discipline, and he shared that he is told to stop doing something. Sometimes his dad will spank him, or he has to go on timeout, and he gets yelled at. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes.
Thank you. No, as you indicated, you were the assigned worker to follow up on the femur injury that Alexavier suffered, correct? In January of 2023, right? And you, as you described, you conducted some follow-up investigations and monitoring, correct?
Yes,
And you personally met with the family multiple times, correct?
yes,
And in your report, you indicate you had no immediate concerns for Alexavier's safety, fair?
correct.
And that was your professional judgment at the time, right?
That was based on the medical information that was received, that the injury was consistent with accidental.
And that never changed, correct? The orthopedic surgeons all said that this was consistent with a fall down the stairs, right?
Allowed hearsay before.
Effect on the listener.
And Your Honor, if she knows.
Are you aware that all the orthopedic surgeons concluded that the femur fracture was consistent with a fall downstairs?
I'm aware that the medical records that I received stated that it was an accidental injury.
So in any case, you did conduct a home visit, correct?
Yes,
And you observed the home environment,
I did,
and you wrote that there were no safety threats in the home.
correct.
You described the home as cluttered but not unsafe.
Yes,
And you did not observe any dog at the residence, is that fair?
I did not.
Okay. You observed the children had food,
Yes,
clothing,
yes,
shelter,
yes,
space,
yes,
their basic care and needs were being met.
yes,
You observed the children appeared well cared for.
yes.
You did not observe signs of neglect.
At the home visit, I did not, no.
You did not observe injuries you considered suspicious, correct?
I did not.
You also did not, you also spoke with the medical staff, and we're backing up to your meeting at the hospital, correct? You talked to the medical staff about the family?
Yes,
And they reported that they had no concerns about the parents' care, right?
correct.
And you documented that in your report.
Yes,
Now, you did not decide to remove the children from the home, correct?
correct.
And you didn't seek emergency custody, correct?
We did not.
Okay. And you allowed the family to remain intact.
Yes, under a protective plan.
Right. And the protective plan was modified, right?
Yes, the original protective plan that was put in place by the on-call worker was that the children were going to be staying with Josie's mom. I modified it to the children could be home, but that Josie's mom needed to do daily check-ins.
Correct, not constant supervision.
Correct.
And when you saw Alexavier, he was talkative, right?
Yes,
And as we talked about, he reported that his dad would spank him, correct?
I'm sorry, say that again?
As we've discussed already, he reported that his dad would spank him.
Yes,
He didn't say anything about Josie physically harming him at all.
he did not.
And he didn't clarify exactly what he meant by spanking, right?
He did not.
But the only disclosure Alex made about potential abuse was about Derek Pedrin and not Ms. Dikeman, correct?
I don't know that I would qualify a spank as,
Physical discipline.
yes, he described his dad as providing physical discipline.
He was happy, right?
He was.
He was proud of his cast.
At the hospital, he had not yet gotten casted, I don't believe, but when I saw him at the home, he was very proud of it.
And he appeared to be recovering well, right?
Yes,
And you did observe some rough play at the house, though, right?
I did.
You did observe that with your own two eyes, that they were
Yes.
playing very aggressively, right?
There were, yes.
And you described that as typical behavior for the household.
Yeah, they were, the three boys were just very rambunctious.
Yeah, I mean, children roughhousing, they can cause bruises and other incidental injuries, correct?
Sure.
And you did not consider the children roughhousing as evidence of abuse, right?
No, there was nothing that appeared unsafe in how they were playing.
And you didn't consider that evidence of neglect.
I did not.
And you, let's talk about Josie for a moment and her communications with you.
Sure.
She was in ongoing communications with you about this, right?
Yes,
And she updated you regularly about Alexavier.
she did.
She told you about his injury.
She did.
She told you about the police welfare check.
Yes,
She told you about his activity level.
yes,
And when you visited the scene, you made a comment that was picked up on body camera footage that the home was much worse condition than your previous visit. Is that right?
So I have been told by one of the responding officers that the interior of the home was significantly worse than in previous contacts through welfare checks.
Would it be fair to say that if there were escalating domestic violence in the home, that could be a contributing factor to
Objections?
neglected house chores?
Yeah, sustain.
So to be clear, you did not make a finding of abuse relating to Alex's femur fracture, did you?
I did not, based on the medical information.
You didn't conclude that that injury was somehow caused intentionally, right?
Based on the medical information that I had, it was not.
And at the time of your involvement, you did not identify any safety threat that required removal.
The children did not require removal, no.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
Quickly, Your Honor. What was reported to you about the timing of when Alex was injured versus when the family sought medical care?
Objection.
Yeah. Objection or no?
Nope.
Okay, withdrawn, go ahead.
So both Josie and Derek had reported at the hospital that Alex had been playing outside at school a few days earlier and had slipped on some ice or was playing on like an ice kind of hit. And, but then, and they weren't sure that if he had maybe caused an injury to his leg at that point. And then Josie explained that Alex had fallen down the stairs. He seemed okay. The next day they had a birthday party, I believe it was, went to the party. He was happy to be at the party, but they both said that he was just had a hard time engaging. He just wanted to sit and really didn't want to participate. And then that Monday, Josie said that when Alex woke up, his leg appeared to be swollen and it seemed to be bothering him more. So she contacted Derek at work and asked him to come home so they could take him into the doctor.
So how many days passed, you can recall, from what was reported to you between the fall down the stairs and seeking medical care?
My understanding was that the fall happened on Saturday and he was taken in on Monday.
Can a delay in seeking medical care be a cause for concern
Objection. Outside of the scope of this witness's expertise.
when you're doing your initial assessment?
Overruled, go ahead.
It is certainly something that we take into consideration, yes.
And your testimony is Alex didn't report anything more than physical discipline from Derek, correct?
Correct.
The spanking.
Correct.
And you and Josie, it sounds like, were pretty communicative during this process, correct?
Yes.
Did Ms. Dikeman ever tell you about any physical or abuse or injury that Derek inflicted
Outside of the
on
scope of
the
cross,
children?
The children?
Correct.
Overruled.
She did not.
Did she send you any videos or any other pictures or multimedia related to Mr. Pedrin physically injuring the children?
She did not.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Recross?
Just briefly, did you ask her for any of that information?
I did not.
And is it your experience that sometimes victims of abuse may not be very forthcoming about their abusers?
That is a possibility, yes. I will say that in my years of practice in this job, many times mothers or fathers will have conversations with me about that once they feel like they're in a safe space and they can talk about it.
But in terms of the right or the wrong way to be an abused spouse, there really is no answer to that, right?
No.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Right, thank you. May step down. Okay. Obviously, I think we are done for today. Yeah, why don't you give it to me? Thank you. Is Ms. Wagner partner released from her subpoena?
Judge will reserve the right to recall Ms. But she can be released.
Okay.